Video, I wanted to take some time to talk about making accurate follow-up shots with your gun. Of course, the first shot being accurate is the most critical. However, it is important to be able to follow up with accurate shots, whether you're target shooting for competition or in some self-defense situations. The first thing that we're going to look at is having the proper grip on your gun. Whenever you grip your gun, and again for safety purposes, we are currently unloaded. No magazine in the gun. When you take a grip on your gun, the gun itself needs to be in perfect alignment with the bone in your arm. You need to have the webbing between your thumb and your finger right in the middle of that back strap. That V needs to be right in the middle of it to where the gun itself is right in line with the bone in your arm. You don't need to have it cocked over sideways like this or like that. It needs to be perfectly aligned, just like that. And your grip, you make sure you get your hand all the way around it. You need to be as high as possible on your back strap. You do not want to be so high that you're going to get bit when that slide comes back, but you do want to have your hand as high as possible on that back strap. Roll your primary hand all the way around the handle of your gun, and you can get a lot of accessories depending on how your gun fits your hand. There's a lot of accessories out there that will help make that fit just a little bit better. I've done some videos previously about how to improve your handgun shooting accuracy where I talk about this. You might want to check that out. I'll leave a link down below. And the opening that is left when you grip your firearm with your primary hand, you want to take the meat of the palm of your hand and you want to nuzzle that right in there and roll your fingers around the gun just like that. My thumbs, you can see that they're just kind of parallel to the slide, and what you want to do with a proper grip is you're going to try to minimize that recoil as much as possible. You're also going to maximize the recovery from that recoil. You want that gun to come back to as close to the same spot as it was when you fired that first shot. So that's one of the big important factors of your grip. Another thing you want to consider also, when you do take that grip, you want to have a slight forward pressure on that gun. And you want that to be met with a slight back pressure from your support hand, pushing forward with your primary hand and pulling back slightly with your support hand. That push-pull effect is going to help in keeping that gun stable. Another very important part of this drill is having proper trigger control. Having the correct trigger control can make or break your shot. I did a video a while back where I actually demonstrate a technique that will identify the proper placement of your trigger finger on your trigger, and I also have some videos on different trigger control exercises that will help you. Now, one thing that you do not want to do is you don't want to be slapping that trigger. You want to press the trigger and break the shot just like that. And as far as your release, you only want to release that trigger out until it resets. Okay, just like that. And then I press the shot again. Now, one thing you do not want to do is you do not want to break the shot and then completely let go of the trigger to where your finger is going to go all the way out. You don't want to slap the trigger. Again, keep that trigger control precise. Keep that trigger back as close to the reset as possible, and it will help you to increase the speed of your follow-up shots. All right, guys, I've got some 6-inch targets set up downrange. We're back about 7 yards. And we are going to now fire some shots on target. We're going to see how close we can get our follow-up shots to be to the bullseye. And one thing you do not want to do when you are first beginning this exercise is you do not want to try to outrun your sights. You want to bring that sight picture back to where you need it to be in alignment with your target during each shot. Keep that sight picture aligned perfectly. Break that shot and then work on your speed as time goes. The more accurate you are, that's when you start building that speed. You start pressing yourself just a little bit more each time and keep that accuracy as tight as possible. So now we are loaded up and ready to go. Here we go. All right, that's 2 shots. Let's go down range and see how we did. Here's our target. You can see that we're just a little bit high from where I'd like to have been on this. Did rush that just a little bit, but our shots are grouped fairly close together, not too far off. And again, remember, this is a 6-inch target, so this is from 7 yards. So the more you practice this drill, the better and more proficient you're going to become with it. Guys, I'm going to try to show you through the viewfinder a little more detail about this. I know that I'm not going to be very accurate when I do fire the shots, but what I mean by recovering on that recoil with your grip and everything done properly, what you want to do is when that recoil happens, you get that muzzle flip, is you want that sight to come right back down into that notch. Once I fire that shot, that recoil is going to bring it up, and then I want to bring that sight picture back down. Now you can see here in the video that my focus is on that front sight. You need to remember that. Focus on that front sight. It cannot be stressed enough. The more that you focus on that front sight, the more accurate you're going to be in your shooting. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to fire a couple of shots. And again, this is not going to be as fast or as accurate because this is a little difficult to do this wrapped around the camera. But I want to give you guys as much information on this as possible. Make sure that you have that proper grip on your gun. Make sure that your focus is on that front sight post. And then you will press the shot, recover, and then press the next shot. So here we go. Recover. And you can see that it was not very fast, but the sight picture, I brought that sight picture back into play every time. Here is our shots that we fired through the viewfinder. You can see that they are low left. Again, I was looking through the viewfinder. I was wrapped around the camera and not a very stable position, but we are on paper. They're not too far apart. And again, the more you practice this drill, the more proficient you're going to become. Now, your competition shooters, there are guys out there that can put shots just one after another in the same hole. I can't do that, and I'll just freely admit it. However, from 7 yards on this target through that viewfinder, you can see how we did here. As your accuracy increases doing this drill, increase the number of shots that you fire. Go from 2 to 3 and on up. Work on keeping them as close in a group as possible. Be sure to not outrun that sight picture, as I mentioned earlier. Bring that sight picture back into alignment as far as where it needs to be before breaking the shot each time. As you get your accuracy better, then you start building the speed each time. And keep working up until you can get all of your shots grouped to where they need to be. Guys, hope you liked the video. Be sure to subscribe. Drop me any comments down below. I also have got some links to various targets where you can practice your shooting. They're also a lot of fun. There are a lot of game targets and that sort of thing. You can find the links down below in the description. And also, guys, you can find us now on Full 30. If you're watching this video on YouTube, we do have a channel now on Full 30, so go check us out over there. It's a great place to be. Anyways, guys, let me hear from you. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.